Welcome back, students. In this section, we'll try to understand the concept of hypothesis testing. Now, hypothesis testing, this is one of the important aspect in inferential statistics. Through this, we make some claim and we try to prove whether my claim is accepted or not accepted, or I can say whether it is rejected or not rejected. Okay, so this is the concept of hypothesis testing in short. Now, to do so, before I tell you the process, how we can do, what kind of hypothesis testings are present, how many types of errors are there, and so on and so forth, let's have a clear concept about the hypothesis testing. That means, in this case, I'll be taking one example, and through that example, let's try to understand what is all about the hypothesis and why hypothesis testing is important, and so on and so forth. And later on, in subsequent lectures, we'll try to analyze the errors and how we can prove whether this hypothesis is accepted or the rejected. Now, here in this example, consider that Shyam, okay, Shyam is your friend, okay, school friend. Now, what happens that every time Shyam comes to you and he claims that uh, in a cricket match, because he is a very good batsman, okay, he always claims that he is a good batsman, and always he can make average 150 score while he is batting in any match. So this is his claim. Now, all the time you're listening from your friend Sham that he is telling his average score is 150, 150, 150. One day you decided to check it and you called him to prove that. So you went to the playground and you bowled him, and after that you realized and he could do only 40, okay, in three consecutive match. So that means the average value, instead of 150 in front of you, he proved only 4040. So my question is, will you believe him? Definitely not, right? So you can say, hey, he is a liar or Sham is a liar. But think that if instead of 40 he has done 140, not 150, he has done 140 average. Will you believe him? So in that case, what will happen that you will believe him, as maybe this was Sham's bad day, or early in the morning he had some argument with his girlfriend and so on and so forth, and then you can say that okay, fine, you may trust him that whatever claim he is making, that his average batting score is 150, instead of 150, even if he has done 140, you can start trusting him. Or you can say, okay, fine, more closer to 150, you will trust him. Now this is the concept. That means it is not exactly 150. Even if he is doing 140, you will trust him. But if he does 40, you will not trust him. Now this is the concept. Now at this point, and what point, the question is, in between 40 to 140, do you make the decision to believe Sham or not? Now it's a little bit dodgy, right? So in fact, you can say that if it is more than 120, then you will believe, and if it is less than 120, you will not believe. And in that case, 120 score or point, data point, is called the cutoff point. So if we draw if we draw this concept like this, okay, now this is the mu, which is 150 score, and you are considering 120 as a cutoff marks. Clear? So I can say CF is 120 and average score is 150, whatever he is claiming. So any data point or any score falling less than 120 in this data, in this region, we can reject, right? So in this case, we can call it as a rejection region, and any score falling under this region will consider that okay, Sham is not a liar, his claim is accepted. So what is the claim? He claimed that his average is 150. Hope you have understood in this section and in this case. Now more and more, okay, there will be high probability of frequency, okay, it will be near to the peak of the curve. So more and more he is batting, he will get more and more scores are lying here. But any score is falling less than 120, you are not going to believe him. Any score more than 120, you are going to believe him. And that exists, okay, low probability of the frequency will be at the lower section towards the tail. That means this section or this section of the tail. Okay, hope you have understood. Now consider the same example, but it is not with sham. Now think that your dad is a very good batsman, and he always claims, look, same claim, let's say I do 150 average whenever I bat. Now in that case you said, okay fine, let's go in the playground and let's try to understand whether you are right or wrong. So in that case what happened, you went to the playground, you bowled him, and he scored, instead of, let's say he's claiming 150, he scored let's say 40. Okay, consecutive three uh, three consecutive three you know match he has done 40. So he is claiming same, let's say mu is equal to 150. I'm not changing any value to prove you or to give you the clarity on this explanation. Okay, it may be mu may be 140, 130, 100. That's not a big issue. So to give you the clarity, I'm taking the same value so that I can explain you the concept of hypothesis testing and the error to that. Okay, so let's say your dad is claiming that his average batting is 150, but unfortunately or fortunately, whatever you say, that once you ball him, he has done only 40. He has done only 40 average 3 games like sham. Now will you believe your dad, or will you call him as a liar like sham? Tough situation, logic question, tough situation. Now definitely you would like to give your dad benefit of doubt before calling him as a liar. So that means you want to be more sure before you are rejecting his claim. That means average is 150. Clear? So in that case, for sham, if it was 120 as a cutoff point, that means you are believing sham. If he is doing more than 120, you are believing, and less than 120, you are not believing. For your dad, it may be possible, instead of 120, you are thinking, no, he is my dad, he cannot be a liar, so I am considering cutoff point is 50. But it was a cutoff point 120 for sham. Same scenario, but for dad, you are giving benefit of doubt, but sham, you are not giving the benefit of doubt. Now, exactly, ideally, if you see that it is not 50, nowhere it is close to 150. And ideally, it's supposed to be rejected, but in spite of that, you are accepting this. Correct? So, in that case, we call this a type 1 error. Okay, hope you have understood. That means for dad's case, in this case, less than 50 you will reject, and more than 50 you will accept. Clear? This is the rejection region. Hope you have understood. Now few notes we need to explain in that manner. The notes are nothing but, smaller the rejection region, surer we are when rejecting the claim. Now very simple. I said the rejection region is this one. Okay, mu equals to 150. This is 50 cutoff point for your dad. This is 120 cutoff point for your first sham. Now if rejection ratio is smaller, then I'll be more sure. Okay, that is the concept. Smaller when we are rejecting the null hypothesis claim. And what is the null hypothesis? I will say later on, but anyhow it is 150. The claim is 150. So this is the null hypothesis. There is no change. That means whatever he claimed before batting, it satisfied even after batting. Correct? So that is the null hypothesis, and we represent by H0, and whatever other than that we call it alternate hypothesis, and it is denoted by H1. So in this case, it means the significant level, that means this rejection region, and how much you are confident. If I ask you, are you confident that sham is a liar? You will say, yes, I am confident. How much you have the confidence level? You will say, I am 95% confident. So that means the significance level is 1 minus 95%, or 100% minus 95%. So in that case, it will be 1 minus 0.95, is it 0.05. Okay, so this is the significant level, and we denote it by alpha. So as per your significance level measures, it measures how sure you want to be when you are rejecting the null hypothesis. Now always the null hypothesis is represented by H0, and whatever the claim is made, that is represented. Here in Sham's claim, his bowling score is 150, so I will say null hypothesis is nothing but 150. Okay, it is nothing but 150. So that means we represent like this: null hypothesis colon mu equals to 150. Okay. Alternate hypothesis H1 is the counter claim. Here Sham's bowling, if it is average less than 150, then I will say he is a liar. Correct. So in this case, if it is mu less than 150, or in this case, let's say cutoff marks, I am saying 120, then I will say this is the he is a liar. So if null hypothesis is satisfying mu equals to 0, mu equals to 150, anything less than mu equals to less than 150 will be the alternate hypothesis. Now you can ask me, sir, why not mu equals to greater than 150 is a null hypothesis? Okay, so it depends how I am creating the null hypothesis. Is it equal, or ideally it is greater or equals to 150, right? So if even if he is getting 160, you will not say that he is a liar, though he claimed that his average is 150, right? So in this case, Morer equals to 150 score, and null hypothesis, alternate hypothesis will be less than 150. Great. Now the sample statistics x bar is the observed sample average. Here Sham's score, let's say of 3 games, average is 40, right, or 50, something like that, 40, 40. That is the sample statistics, and we are representing by x bar in that case. Now critical value, or I can say the cutoff value, whatever, cutoff value or the critical value. Okay. Now in that case, what happens, that it indicates when the claim is to be rejected or not. Here 120 for Sham and 50 for Dad. Okay. This is the cutoff value or the critical value.